Alright, so welcome back. I am doing another mix video on my new song Asteroids. This was released a little over a month ago, and I started work on it about end of August, beginning of September. So it's only been in existence for a couple months, but I always love watching mix videos, behind the mix, and just people going in behind the scenes of how they do different things. So since I like doing it, or since I like watching it, I kind of want to give back and kind of do the same thing for people who like watching it and find it hard to find videos like that. But we're just gonna be kind of walking through my process for this song. I think it's not, if it's not my best, it's one of my best mixes to date, although I kind of rushed it, because what happens is I'll spend months writing the song and I'll like it, and then I have to go through a tracking process, which is redoing everything. So the demo process will have me playing all the instruments, but it's kind of like all the mess ups I don't really change because I'm just writing. Then I go back and I have to do everything again, but perfectly. And then by that point, after doing like 20 takes of a guitar part, you're kind of done with it. And then I love mixing, so I had to sit down and do it, but I did it in my college dorm, so I couldn't sit down and do it all at once. So time was split. It was just yeah, I was rushed. So yeah, I kind of just want to walk through my process, kind of how I do everything. If you haven't heard it, it's on my other channel, CCL Records. That's where I upload all my songs. So yeah, let's get here. So yeah, you can go listen to the whole thing over on the other channel. I'll play a little bit of the beginning here just to get a reference, and we'll go from there. So yeah, it's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of atmospheric. I kind of try to base that off of what the song's about, with asteroids, like it's like about stargazing. That's really the inspiration I had there, laying under the stars, kind of getting that vibe. So it has a bunch of reverb, echo, delay. Yeah, it feels very spacious. So verse is just like that. Chorus, it almost feels distraught, and there's some sort of tension with the chords I used. I don't really remember why I did that, but I did, so I'll play that real quick. And I saw asteroids in your eyes. Our worlds colliding. So yeah, it does that. Post-chorus is just the re-intro chorus, and then the bridge. We'll get to that later because it's a whole other story. So how I always start my mixes is with the drums. So what I use is Addictive Drums 2, and they make it really easy. I have a like a piano roll grid, just like this. Nope, this. And each note is a drum kit piece, and I can draw out a whole drum rhythm thing like I did here. So yeah, I always start by bouncing all of the instruments separately, all the different drum heads, and start there. So let's kind of get a listen to the drum mix here. Here. So I didn't really change much because I already really liked the sound of that. Um, we'll take the effects off of everything here and kind of listen to it raw. Yeah, see, I didn't really change much aside from adding a bunch of reverb, but I did kind of um, dial in the kick tone. It's very punchy right now, which I really liked, but it kind of interferes with the bass. So I had to go through, added my favorite EQ here, and I just kind of spruced it up. There's a little bit of compression on it, and then um, I did boost some of the lows here, which I mean I really like the punchiness, but kind of brightened it up. We'll see, and then overall in the drum bus, I cut out some of the lower here so that the bass had room to do its thing. But I always start with the kick, and then I move on to the snare, same channel strip here. I like to brighten it up. As you can see, I brighten up a lot, like 9 dB up at the yeah, like 4.5 kilohertz, and I don't know. I kind of shaped it to how I like. I like a super crunchy snare. Excuse the dog. Um, Somebody's here. So yeah, I like a super crunchy, bright snare. So that's what I typically go for here. I didn't really do much to any of the other ones. I know I threw this on the hi-hat and just put a preset on it. Some dude's preset. Um, and it pretty much brightens it up. And then, let's see. Yeah, toms, I just boosted some of the lows. Kind of made it brighter as well. Trigger. So this was a super helpful. The triggers is like samples that they put over the drum kit piece to get the attack, which is like that initial hit of the drum piece. So that is essential because it brings out like the punches of the kick and the attack of the snare, and yeah, I really like that. For the room, I'll play the room separately here. So that was the room without anything, and couldn't really hear it, so I brightened it up a little bit. Um, yeah, just some minor more than minor, but some adjustments to make it stick out more. And then I put a compressor on it, but it's super light. All it does is it gets like the peaks of some loud snare hits, which it kind of controls the dynamic. I didn't want it poking out and making other compressors hit that weren't supposed to. And then overhead, this is it raw. So it kind of picks up that live kick and snare, some hats, but it seemed like it was gated almost, which might have been within the drumming software itself. I didn't do that, but what I did do is, pretty sure I compressed it, brightened it up more here. I just made it kind of stick out more, and then listen to the whole entirety of this drum mix with the drum bus. Well, all in the drum bus is yeah, I clipped the lows here, and then I have a soft clipper to control some of the transients because they're sticking out and it was bothering me, and then a limiter just to like completely cut off the peaks there because they are pretty annoying. I'm still learning how to do that. It's kind of my own way, but here's what we have so far. So that kick is super punchy. It's pretty dry sound overall, which I like that, but obviously I want more spacious, so I threw on my drum reverb, which is a super wet, just regular default reverb that we use. Um, Pretty sure I just left it at the default settings, but I did make it pretty wet, which we can hear here. So yeah, I was pretty happy with that. And I know there's some more things I should have done, but I didn't, and that's in the past and can't fix it now. So after the drum set, I like to move on to my bass because the rhythm section is just the most important part. So you want to make sure that all those have their place first. So bass, move on, and it's just a single DI track, just plugged straight into my computer or my interface. And what I did here, I played my bass with a pick because I needed. I like the attack of the picked bass, and we can hear it here. I'll make it raw. This is what I recorded. Though you can hear the attack, the bow bow bow. It's very high end, and I really like that, especially for this type of song. But it's really quiet. And what I do, I usually record things quieter so that I don't end up clipping it and just messing everything up. So I record it quieter and then I boost it in the mixing process. But we can see I did a lot. Tuner, make sure it's in tune. And then Sound Goodizer is the secret sauce to all like clean bass. I wouldn't say clean, I just like it. It boosts a lot. And then after that, I threw on a compressor, some more EQ, which in this I boosted the lows, and it looks like that's all I did. Yeah, I just boosted some lows, and then shaped it with tons of different other EQs, and limited it. Well, that's not, yeah. So put a limiter on it. It just kind of trims off all the random peaks again. And so what it sounds like, I'll do an A, B. So DI. And then so as you can see with all the compressors, the level stays pretty flat. There's not much dynamic range, which is exactly what I wanted for the bass sound. And you can tell that low end is a lot more apparent, which is exactly what I wanted. So after I get the bass in, I usually turn the drums back on and kind of listen to it, because this is your rhythm section, right? Your bass, your drums. You got to make sure they sound good together. So play that. And I was pretty happy with that because you can hear the entirety of the bass, the kick stands out, it's punchiest and it's low end, and everything sounds pretty good. So on from there is probably my least favorite part about mixing is the guitars, because I can never find something that I'm super happy with. But these were okay. So let's open the guitars here. I had a lot of guitars, and there's a ton of effects. It's hard to even break it down, but let's start with the basis. So when I was writing this was the very first thing that I kind of came up with. Yeah, just listen to this with all the effects and everything. So 2 major 7 chords, and yeah, loads of effects. So let me play it raw because I even have more effects recorded raw because I have a guitar effects processor. It's like a pedal board, has all the sorts of effects on it. So we will play that, and yeah. So it's like a clean guitar, just It has reverb and echo on it already, and a little bit of. I don't remember if there's. I think there is an amp model on it. I don't remember what it was though, but makes it sound really cool. And then obviously I had to add a flanger to make it kind of wobble around your head. Convolver is kind of like, it's a reverb thing. I'm not really trying to explain it. It adds like a tail onto your track, had to shape it a lot. This looks extreme, and it is, but rolled off the low ends and then boosted the presence quite a bit. Looks like 12 dB. That is unprofessional, but it's what I did. And then the stereo shaper is amazing. So what it does here, I'll show you, because it, I mean, you can hear the difference. So this sounds very like center. Like if you're looking, if you close your eyes and you kind of picture where the sound's coming from, it's right in front of you. Well, with the stereo shaper, it kind of moves it from right in front of you to like behind you. Like, listen to this. It's subtle, but it's like behind you, kind of to your left, which kind of gives, you know, the space of the mix more atmospheric feel that I was going for. More EQs, kind of just cleaning up some things, and then it's super like a mid-rangey presency. But so I did that first, and then we, like right after I was tracking, even during my mixing, I was like, you know, what if I layered like an octave of that same thing? So I did, and this is what it was. So I literally put my capo all the way up an octave higher than it was, and I played it, and I put even more effects on it. Let's hear it raw. Yeah, it just layers on, and then the effects I used for this aren't the same, so I think it's more similar to my solo. Yeah, so we have a delay. It's ping pong delay, so it goes left, right, and then the secret sauce of all of my guitar sounds for the song, the love filter. So this is the thing that makes it sound sparkly and like have a distortion on it. It's here, I'll show you. Turn it off, yeah, goes away. It sounds twinkly. I kind of thought, oh, it kind of sounds like, you know, you're looking at twinkling stars. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. So did that. Some more EQs. Another stereo shaper to put it behind you instead in front of you. Wow, that's pretty drastic. But yeah, that's the EQ for that. Gets you this layered sound. That sounds pretty cool. So on from there, went to kind of that strumming, same chord, and just strumming it. And this is hard panned guitars, left, right. Let's hear it. Yeah, it sounds super wide. And really all it is I recorded these with the effects on my guitar pedal, minor EQ there, and then the bus I put all the effects on. So more EQ, more delay, more reverb, more EQ, more EQ. Limiter to just make sure that nothing's going over, or nothing's clipping, pretty much. And then that's not even on. So yeah, it's really just a bunch of EQ and more atmospheric effects like delay and echo, reverb. So that's all that is. So yeah, all combined, we have this. Yeah. So I mean, you can pretty much hear all the guitar parts, which is exactly what you want. You know, hard panning, keeping them out of the way, kind of EQing them so that they have their own place in the mix. It's not perfect by any means, but that's what I was going for. and you can hear them all. So it sounds good. So this is what we have so far. Yeah, turn all these on, and yeah. Now after that, I just have a little lead, which gonna be honest, I did not re-record this in the tracking. This is straight from the demos because what happens a lot of the time is I'll record something in my demo and I won't like keep note of like my effects settings or my guitar tone settings or what pickup I'm using. So then later on I'll try to re-record it and I can't figure it out because so many things have changed. So if it's very frustrating, but I just ended up keeping it. It wasn't too off time. It's a little off time, but not really noticeable. So it's just um just kind of a little a melody thing um with some effects, compressor, delay, that fruity love filter again, and more EQ. So after that, I kind of just go in order here. Move on. Yeah, move on to my synths. So there weren't really any synths used till the end. Um, and the riser was only used toward the end, the bridge. So I guess I'll show you this part now. So the bridge, um, it's just a long guitar solo pretty much. There's an arpeggio, and I'll just play it here, a little bit of it. Yeah, so that's all one take. I practice that quite a bit. It's not really that hard for me to play. So um, I think it sounds pretty cool. Yeah, effects I have on that. Yeah, so I already showed it raw. Just I'm pretty sure it's the same exact preset for my picking on my pedal board, except with a distortion pedal. And then off of that, your delay, your free love filter, all that stuff. And yeah, so it's pretty simple. It's all the guitars there. Synth bus, it's just the bus, control volume. And these are the synths I use. So there's a very quiet synth that goes on during the chorus here. So just try to listen. You can't really hear it, but I'll solo it. So yeah, you can't really hear it, and I was split on whether to keep it, but it adds something a little bit. So I kept it. And all it really is, it's two layered synths. They're two different ones. And stereo shaper again, a flange. I don't really know the difference between this and a flanger, but it is what it is. And same thing pretty much on that. So it's not super important, but it is important here in the bridge because there's an arpeggio and also like a synth kind of solo. I don't even know, but this is what it sounds like. I thought that added to the busyness of the bridge, as well as like the overall feeling. I don't know. I was trying to go for I don't even know what kind of feeling. It's like a I don't know how to describe it, but it seems like a sense of urgency, and the arpeggio kind of builds up like a tension. So I was like, oh, like yeah, that's pretty cool. And listen, what it sounds like without it. It sounds completely different. Yeah, so I think it adds some rhythm and it just makes it a bridge. So the arpeggio just goes all the way through, but then there's this I don't even know, like a synth part that I was split on having. I ended up making it kind of quieter and keeping, but it sounds like this. So yeah, I wanted to add that because originally that guitar solo wasn't supposed to have this long tremolo picking on the chord here, so it was supposed to be its own thing. I ended up keeping both. It's just kind of those decisions you have to make, especially when I was kind of ready to be done making this. I kind of just kept things and just committed. So I mean, I don't hate it. It's fine. So yeah, after the synths, there isn't much about the synths, just playing some notes, and they're all fruity flex synths, so nothing special. And then move on, we just have a single riser, which I thought, added to a build up to the bridge. We'll listen here. Which I'm pretty sure all it is, it's a cymbal hit. I think it's from my Addictive Drums. It's either that or a sample that I found. I reversed it. Wrong one. Yeah, just reversed it as a riser, and then a cymbal hit. I was having issues transferring this from my demo project to my mixing project because of the way I had it set up. I don't know, so it sounds odd. It sounds almost stretched or something, but it does not matter. Just pretty love filter again, doing some panning stuff. So thought that added to the whole build up. I think it does. And then I guess on the topic of effects, I have this like tape rolling effect at the beginning here, which I added very last minute. I'm pretty sure I added that while I was making the visualizer because I was like, this song is like a memory of mine, and I wanted it to be kind of like I'm rolling a film, like rewatching something that happened. And I mean, I don't know that I should have included it in the actual song, but I think it adds to it. So, and then in the outro, kind of rolls to a stop, which that's what that is. I just took it off YouTube. But and then finally the vocals. So I will admit I'm not a great singer, but who else is gonna sing on my songs? So just kind of gotta do it. And what I did here, excuse the background noise. The Dolphins are playing the Jets right now. You know how it is. But so the vocals I did, I think 12. So I did 10 actual takes. I did some harmony takes. Didn't like those, didn't use them. But so in a college dorm, you can't really sing your heart out because people probably think you're weird, and it's also annoying for your neighbors. So what I had to do was I took like a mixer I had, and it's like a portable little recorder. I took my microphone, my laptop, and I went out to my car. So I went out to my car in the parking lot, and I took all these takes, and that was something. But I did a bunch of different kind of like vocal tones, held the mic farther away, closer up. I just tried different things, made my voice more whispery or less whispery, and I settled on, a mix of takes. So it's majority of that eighth take, but I had some takes like take nine and take six that I ended up liking better, even take 10. So those takes I ended up liking some parts of those better, especially pitch wise. I don't have, or at the time I didn't have any pitch like pitch shifters or auto tune things. I didn't have any of that. I didn't know how to use it. Which big mistake. I ended up buying Melodyne recently, so could have fixed some things, but you live, you learn. So had to do that, and this is what it sounds like raw. Sure, yeah. It might be too quiet. Might have to just deal with it.
Laying around under a moonlit sky, on the ground, our shoulders touch.
You can hear the crappy transition between takes here,
Shoulders touch.
but it's fine. But yeah, it's pretty dry, and honestly, recording in the car wasn't all that bad because I didn't have to worry about any room noise. But I was using my SM57 and singing my heart out my car. So yeah, I did quite a few takes, and then the vocal chain here. It's probably the thing that people wonder about the most, and I will tell you, I did make it and I used it. Is it just copy? So my metal project Creaks and Creepers, I used my SM57, and the thing with SM57 is it records super quiet and there's not a lot of high end like in a raw recording, so you got to do a lot. And I ended up making something that I consider a perfect vocal chain to bring out the high end and to make it sound clean. Copied it over and changed some things. We have, first of all, we have a de-esser. Honestly, I don't think that's in the right place. I probably should put it later, but de-essers just kind of take out the S sounds, because when you say tss, like it can clip, it sounds annoying. So de-esses it. Compressor, looking at the settings here, does not look like it's a harsh compressor at all. The release is pretty quick. The attack is slow, so it's a slow compressor. But yeah, it's also preset. Thanks, Greg Wells. But moving on here to my EQ. We boosted highs and mid highs, cut some of the low mids, and looks like we boosted some of the lows. I don't know why we did that, but it's also preset. So this is the secret sauce behind getting your SM57 to sound like a regular microphone, or regular, I mean like a condenser microphone. So after that, that's kind of all the things to make it clean up the microphone sound. I have a tuner on here because when I was recording Creaks and Creepers, I had this open so I could kind of like see if I was off tune, which I definitely was, but I could kind of like sway myself more into a tuned way sometimes. And then after that, Fritting Evolver. So this thing, it's like that reverb, adds that tail on. The delay I ended up not using. I think I thought I did. Guess I did. Reverb again, and then a soft clipper. Take off the peaks because vocals are a pain. Not gonna lie, and I still don't know how to like mix them properly. So cutting the peaks off. But this is what we got with. Oh yeah. So I'll get that in a second. So this is what we got.
Shoulders touch for a while.
Long reverb tail. It's a lot louder. The highs are boosted, cut through. You could hear it better. And then the delay is a separate bus. So I routed it over, and I can control the volume separately. I can automate it a lot easier. So
For a while.
kind of fills in that gap when I'm not singing. You kind of hear it in the song. Um, so yeah, that's the lead vocal. And then what I did last minute is I put, so one of the takes I did in my car was a whisper. So in the other takes, I'm singing like not fully, but I'm singing. This one I'm just whispering everything, like completely whispering. And I will show you here without any effects. Turn it on.
For a while. Eyes
Let's see.
on the ground, our shoulders touch.
Yeah, so it's all in a whisper tone. And what I did was I overcompressed it, or like heavily compressed it. So it is being super compressed. And I kind of found that trick. I was watching a kind of behind the scenes video, I think, for a song that Muse made off of their Simulation Theory album. I don't remember what song it was, but it was Pressure. In their song, they had like a super compressed whispering vocal. It's like I'm pretty sure it's like pressure building or something. But I've always thought that was super cool, so I try to do that on some of the songs that I've made. This is an attempt, I will say. Let's hear it.
On the ground, our shoulders touch.
Sounds like a telephone almost, but in context with the lead, you cannot really hear it. It almost sounds like a slapback delay or like a tape delay during the song, which there isn't any of that, but it sounds like it. I thought that was pretty cool too. The stereo shaper, instead of it kind of being right on top of the lead vocals, it's kind of behind you. This is what it sounds like together.
On the ground, our shoulders touch.
And then it's even more apparent in the chorus, I think.
And I saw asteroids.
Like you could hear it, it's there, but you can't really tell it apart. I liked that. There's a chorus on it to widen it, and convolver again, stereo shaper again, and yeah, so that's why it sounds like it's through a telephone. But in context, you cannot really hear it.
And I,
Whoops.
and I saw asteroids.
You can't really hear it, but you can feel it. I don't know. I thought it made the vocals sound wider, so I kept it. Alright, so that is all of my typical mixing things. What I ended up doing differently this time than my other songs, I attempted to do some automation. And all this is making different effects and volumes kind of automatically go up and down over the course of a song instead of having a static line. So for that whisper track, kind of automated it to drop the volume toward the end because I started getting a lot louder. You can see the levels here. Oops. Where is it? Group. I don't know why they did that. Okay, and then yeah, for this one as well, I went through. You can see every time I did something, I either dropped it or peaked it up because my vocal was pretty inconsistent. That's kind of what happens when you're holding a dynamic mic in your car. So got to kind of clean it up. I know I did more. Oh yeah, for the synths, I just did minor stuff. I didn't do anything for that. I did for this one, just having the synth solo thing be a little bit louder than, oh my goodness, than the chorus one. And then guitars, yeah, so I did some EQing, automation. I don't know which one this is for, to be honest. I'm pretty sure it's for the picking octave guitar, but that makes sense. Yeah, so yeah, I just did some EQ to make it stick out at different points. I'm pretty sure what that did was made the presence a lot louder during the intro and the chorus, and then kind of dip it out during a louder part, or it looks like the bridge here. But that was my thought process. Kind of automated the strumming volume as well, a little bit, because I was having some issues with it being loud on one side on one strum, loud on the other. It's kind of annoying. As well as some mixing, some EQ stuff. Let's see. Yeah, drums I didn't automate at all. So that is the entire, what I would consider the mix. Quite a few tracks, 52. But then at the very end, I do what I call a master, which is what it's what it technically is, but it isn't professional at all. So what I did, I have a tape machine, like emulator, and I'm not really certain what it does. I think it makes it sound better, sounds more real instead of computerized. It's such a nitpicky thing, but then this is my mastering chain, which I kind of came up with myself. It's just I have a volume control here in case I mixed it too quiet. I can push it up a little bit. Some EQs to take out some of the harsh frequencies, which there were a lot. This one, it just cuts off the low end under, pretty sure it's under 30, because realistically, your headphones, your car, all that stuff, your phone, you're not hearing under 30 hertz. So I wanted to cut that out so that I'm saving the mix energy for other parts of the frequency spectrum. I have multi-band compression here. It's pretty soft. Yeah, let's see. The highs I compressed more harshly because that's where all the peaks were in my case. So I wanted to control those without destroying the rest of the frequency spectrum. Super helpful. I did some analog EQ. This is just a free plugin. It kind of makes it harder for me to find the small frequencies, which is a good thing. Since I'm not going through digging through it all. It's kind of boosting or lowering like broad range, which, super helpful. After that, I have my limiter and compressor. This thing looks like I don't even know, like a military grade something, but found this on the internet. It's also free. I have a compressor which it's pretty light, 1.6. The attack and release, they're pretty fast. I mean, it's good. It controls all the peaks. And then I have a peak limiter, which isn't touched too much. High frequency limiter isn't touched much. Clipper, it also isn't touched much, but this protection is. So this one, I have it. It's another clipper, and what it does is at negative -0.5 dB, anything above that is just clipped completely. It's not there, which helps from a clipping, which in wave audio files I don't think is much of a problem, but MP3s is you'll hear it. It'll be annoying. I think that's true. So yeah, this is set. It's just my it boosts the sound and really pushes it. Then I have Ozone Master Assistant, which I don't really use. So what you can do is it auto does it. You can click this, go through a process, and it listens to your song, does it, but it ends up not doing it well. The maximizer pushes it way too hard, and it sounds like you can hear the compressor kicking in, and it sounds bad. I don't use Imager. My mixes are pretty wide already. But the mid-side EQ I do use. So what I end up doing here is in the middle, I usually boost the bass, and this is like right when you close your eyes, right in front of you is where you can hear it. So boost the bass. That's all I really do in the middle, and on the sides I cut the bass because I want the bass to be right there in the center, and then I boost some of the highs on the sides to make all the other elements sound like they're around you rather than in front of you. So that usually sounds pretty good. And then this is the final limiter. Anything above 0 dB is just completely gone. And then I have some meters. So this is my LUFS meter. I can see my peaks, which negative -0.1 is perfect. That means everything is doing its job. I usually try to get around negative 10 and negative 12 because that's where Spotify, Apple Music, I think that's pretty much where their LUF range is. Otherwise, they'll make your song quieter or louder. So I try to aim for that, which I do a pretty decent job at. And then this is another graph. It kind of shows me where the frequencies are over time, like an average. So if the bass is too loud, you'll see like a big bass hump be a lot louder. It just helps me to visualize what I'm hearing. So yeah, that is the complete mix and master process for Asteroids. I spent maybe 6 hours doing the entirety of this, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you enjoyed, learned something new. My process definitely not professional at all, but I'm still learning, and that's why I like watching these videos. So yeah, thanks for watching, and go check out my stuff on CCL Records. And yeah, adios.